High performance isn't about doing more. It's about doing the right things consistently.
Anyone can train at a high performance. It sounds more like an athletic thing, but essentially all it is if you're pushing yourself to the next level, then anyone can train like a high performer.
This week on the Midweek Motivation Podcast, I sit down with Matteo, a performance and mindset coach.
I find it so fulfilling just working with young athletes and helping them grow and watching them grow. I think that's the best part for me about doing what I do.
We break down the habits that actually support high performance, the mindset shifts most people miss or overthink, and the non-negotiables Matteo uses for his athletes and his own training.
Listening to podcasts and reading have a massive impact on high performance too. If you're always an active learner and you're always listening to others, and especially being coachable through listening to things like podcasts.
From daily routines to training principles, this episode is about building consistency in the small, high-quality habits. Join Matteo and I on the Midweek Motivation Podcast, where we uncover powerful stories, practical tools, and fresh perspectives to help you grow, lead, and become the best version of yourself. I'm your host, Neale. Let's dive in. So Matteo, what do you like to do when you have 17 minutes spare?
That is a great question. What do I do with 17 minutes spare?
Like some people, they like to watch a sitcom, maybe have dinner, but I think you like to have something different planned when you have 17 minutes.
I mean, yeah, some would say you can either run a 5K or have a power nap, but yeah, I swing more towards having a nice 5K.
Yeah, no, fair enough. So what's your official time then?
Official time was 17:51.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So just under 18.
Yeah. How long have you planned for achieving a 5K? Or just one day you just went for it?
Honestly, I feel like I've always done fast running and I've always done like a bit of track and stuff. But this specific 5K, just a couple of my mates were doing it and they just said, oh, just jump in and do it with us. So I was like, yeah, might as well then. One of them said he was going for a sub 18, so I was like, okay, I'll just try and hang on to him.
Wow.
Yeah, that just happened, I guess.
That's unreal.
It was horrible, though. Like, by the end of it, I was literally gagging as I was crossing the finish line.
Yeah, it was zone 5, like, probably the whole time.
Oh, yeah. No, I had a look at my watch, and it was, like, zone 5 for literally half of it.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I felt after HYROX in Dublin. But,
oh, man.
Yeah, probably not you.
No, honestly, after the burpees on this one that I just done, I didn't realise how tough relay actually is. I think because you're going all out the whole time for each of your stations, like I finished the burpees and I couldn't even see. I was just so dazed, had to sit down.
Wow.
Yeah, that was not fun.
In that video, you were just... You went for it.
Yeah, I feel like I've just always been good at burpees. So I took that station, and then I started off way too fast on my run, and I completely cooked myself for that station. So this second run before the wall balls, I just had to take it so easy. But yeah, I was just debating just quitting.
So the run that you do by yourself in the relay, do you only do that alone, or do you have to do it with the entire team?
So you do it alone. So you usually go run and then station, and then you do a little run back to the relay zone, and then you tag your partner and the next person goes.
Oh, okay, so you only do you do 2 runs.
Yeah.
Where you really go for it. Okay.
Yeah.
And what was your other station?
Wall balls.
Well, okay.
So I know I got given the 2 worst ones. So I had to just pull through on those.
Yep. Yeah, burpees is such a weird one. You have to like be good at it in a way, and I say that like with anything, but I got trained into burpees. So one of my old colleagues, a gym back in Australia, he loved burpees, and was one of the very few people I know who loved burpees, and he came up with this 45-minute burpee workout where it's just an EBOM. You pick how many you want to do and you sustain it. I chose 10 a minute. It was unreal pain, but that has made every burpee since easier. In saying that, HYROX, I did like probably the slowest burpees I've done in a while going solo, but then when I did hybrid games, I went for it.
Yeah.
Such a interesting exercise to burn calories, but
yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know how I would do that for 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's rough. I would try and leave, I think I had like 25 seconds I'd probably leave as rest. So that was like just enough to kind of get back into it.
Yeah.
And by the end, my left elbow was
30-minute
mark killing me. But yes, Matteo, welcome to the Midweek Motivation Podcast.
Thank you. Thank you.
For those who don't know you, how would you describe yourself? What's your favorite cheese?
Favorite cheese? My favorite cheese? Probably, you know what? I love cheddar, which is a bit criminal, being Italian. So
That's why I asked.
yeah, definitely cheddar.
Yeah.
But how would I describe myself? I definitely say ambitious. I always like to surround myself actually with other people that are ambitious. I feel like that's what gets the best out of me. And I don't know what to say, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, in terms of coaching, like, what do you specialize in?
I'd say I specialize in performance and mindset. That's what I've tried to expand more into, especially this year. And it really just came about from, obviously, there's a lot of PTs. And I wanted to find something which separates me from everyone else.
Yeah, 100%.
That's also how I came up with the idea for my football PT, which I then kind of transitioned into calling it performance and mindset.
Is that way you don't niche down completely to just footballers?
Yeah. So essentially it's PT with all athletes. I find it so fulfilling just working with specifically young athletes and helping them grow and then watching them grow. I think that's probably the best part for me about doing what I do. And yeah, so
nice. So you started with football in terms of like your background as well?
Yeah, so I've always grown up playing football. Played football at a high level all the way up until last year, actually. And then it got to a point where I just didn't find it that rewarding, to be honest. I didn't find playing that rewarding. I wanted to stay in the industry because I love football, but I wanted to find a way that I could help others through doing something I love, basically.
Yeah.
And then that's, where I came up with the idea, and I kind of transitioned from playing more into the coaching side. And I had some great guys kind of help me with starting all of that. And then, been trying to grow that ever since.
Yeah, nice. So for me, like, basketball was my main sport, and I played that for 13 years. And I always wanted to be an athlete, but never really knew what that kind of looked like. And then I kind of thought basketball would be. But then, I got to a point where I just kind of was losing the passion. Like, the more I pushed into it, I was almost like trying to fight it in a way.
That's the thing. Yeah. I felt like I was fighting that passion for a while. And it got to a point where I didn't enjoy what I was doing. And then that's why I wanted to find that transition over.
And do you think you found that new purpose or calling for you?
Definitely, yeah. Definitely. I feel like the wake up call was, as cliche as it sounds, I feel like everyone gets that injury and then that kind of shifts them to trying something new. And I felt like my injury end of last year, I kind of had that transition period where I was kind of thinking about what I could do during that time. Obviously, it's when you do something for so long and then you can't do it, it's such like a difficult time. And I wanted to stay active and just keep moving. And then that's when I came up with the idea to grow my PT more, firstly, and then expand more into the athlete side and work on all of that.
Yeah. I think you told me when we met, but remind me, what was your injury that you had?
So it was a hernia. It was a weird injury, especially being young. But it just came from overdoing it. And
really?
Yeah, it happened in the weirdest way. But it was definitely a wake-up call. First, to slow down and not do so much. And also to just, focus more on recovery and specifically like functional exercise. That was what I've started to do a lot more, actually.
Do you find that your discipline for slowing down is still present today with what you do now?
I've definitely found that balance. I'm still training a lot, but I've managed to find a balance, and I've actually found a day which I use as just complete rest. I still do some active recovery, I guess you can call walking active recovery, but I'll still do something light. But now I actually try and focus more on mobility and yoga and that kind of thing. So I've learned the importance of it.
Yeah, very nice. And what do you think is underrated when it comes to recovery?
I definitely say people always neglect foam rolling, and I try and foam roll now like 3 times a week, regardless of if I'm training the same day. I always try and foam roll, and not many people think about it. So I definitely recommend everyday people even to use it, because you don't realize how tight everything is until you actually use a foam roller. And obviously you don't want to get a sports massage like every week, so
it's a bit expensive too.
Yeah. So it's such a good way. Like, I was actually, one of my cousins, he works at a desk all day, and he was complaining about his traps always being tight and his neck always being sore. And I was like, just get a foam roller, roll your upper back on there, and then you'll see the difference. And he's now been trying to do that almost every day after work. So yeah,
just like small things, right?
yeah.
But you don't need like, drastic time to see a result. Like, I guess you could say long term, strength training in that area and just like habit wise, thinking about your posture.
Yeah.
Like someone who needs like a bit of relief and in that area, like trigger balls or foam roll.
Yeah.
Massaging would be a great option that people can do. What about when it comes to nutrition? Do you find that helps more with your performance or recovery or both?
I definitely say both. I feel like I've always been into nutrition too, so I've really tried to dig deep into the performance side and recovery. In terms of performance, I feel like everyone's different. It's hard to actually specify what to have for performance, but I think it always comes back to the simple things like high carb foods before performance, and in recovery, obviously, you want to shift more towards the protein side. So
yeah. And what would be like your go-to pre-workouts for anything?
Go-to.
You can say two. I'll allow one for say a strength training session.
Yeah.
And one for more like a conditioning or a run or something.
For strength, I actually have something a bit heavier for strength. I don't know why. I just feel like it's more of like a psychological thing. But if I have something a bit heavier, it helps me push heavier. I don't know why.
You got more weight, right? So
honestly. Yeah. I feel like it's such a weird thing.
Yeah.
So if I've got a strength day, I'll usually fuel on something like sourdough with 2 slices sourdough, one with almond butter, banana, another one with like avocado and eggs, which is still quite calorie dense and still there's like a bit of protein in there.
Yeah.
But I find if it's just a strength day, you're not really like jumping too much and moving too much. So yeah, I feel like my body is fine with having a lot of calories. In terms of running, majority of my runs, I actually do fasted just because I find I just can't run on a full stomach or even after eating. So unless it's a really long run, I'll just accept I need to get up earlier and actually have something. So the most I would do is for a long run, I would have like a banana dipped in. I think I've got an almond butter addiction, but I have a banana dipped, banana dipped in almond butter, and then I just eat that. And then I'll have a packet of electrolytes in like orange juice or something. So super light. I'd say carb heavy, but most of that is coming from like natural sugars and stuff. So that's kind of my go-to.
What would be a long run for you?
Long run, anything like 15K or over.
Okay, so that's when you would have something beforehand.
Yeah.
Do you notice like if you do cardio in the evenings, is that different to how you would do in the mornings? Like
cardio,
how you feel?
Yeah. As much as I hate doing cardio in the evenings, I always find that I perform better. I think just because obviously first thing in the morning, you've just woken up, you're dehydrated, you haven't had any food.
Good point, actually. Yeah.
I always feel like I perform better in the evening, but I just hate running in the evening, especially obviously in London. It's always cold
right now.
Winter, it's dark at like 4.
It's 4:30. It's pitch black.
Dark and cold and windy. But no, I always find I perform better in the evenings. I think because I've had a full day of actual nutrition and food, so got some fuel.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Like sometimes when there's busier seasons with coaching. And sometimes I don't get trained till like 8:30 at night.
It's
as much as I hate doing it, it's like some of my best sessions. And I as much as I like the idea of just getting my workout done first thing in the morning. I can like cardio is fine, but doing a strength session, like especially Olympic lifting, it's not a great day. Maybe if I had like 10 hours of sleep, let me not say bed super early. Do you count calories at all?
So with calories, I feel like there's such like a misconception with it. For me, I don't know if this is controversial, but I don't feel like calories are that important unless you're trying to lose weight. But for me, okay, long story short, I used to track and I just found that it made me so conscious about how much I was eating. And I would literally measure everything by like the gram or by the spoon, especially things like olive oil, where it's like 1 tablespoon is like so many calories. And I just hated the fact that I was so conscious, especially for someone that loves food. So I basically put all of that to a stop. And the only thing that I track now is protein. but I feel like I've got to a point where I know what my protein intake looks like. So I always recommend, if it's a client I'm working with, I tell them to track for at least 2 weeks, just so they get an idea of what their food looks like, and just so they don't become super conscious. And I feel like those things can lead to eating disorders and that kind of thing. So
100%. Yeah, no, I agree. Like it's like educating especially for a beginner, right, who wants to improve, say, their body composition, or trying to lose fats, but like understanding what makes up a calorie, what certain things where you tend to have high in calories. But then again, like I've only used calorie counting for myself and probably for clients only like a handful of times because I don't think it's that important.
Yeah, I feel like it's more the macronutrients that are the most important thing. As long as you're hitting your protein and you're not consuming, I think if you're losing weight, if you're wanting to lose weight, obviously you don't want to consume too many carbs. And I feel like fats have this, again, massive misconception that they're all bad for you, but people don't realize that there's different category of fats. So you've obviously got all the healthy ones, which you obviously need for your brain health. Even for like things like salmon, people will see that it's high calories, so they'll avoid it, but they don't realize that also comes with protein and healthy fats, which your body does need. So
how would you so let's say you had someone that you just told information about your I guess your review on calories. How would you help them approach a different mindset to, say, food and just maybe improving their body composition, feeling better?
Again, I would tell them to track, but not be so harsh on tracking. Just see how it goes, see how you feel, because I think the most important thing is if you feel good having this or this amount of food, then fine. If you go over by like 200 calories, but you're feeling good, you're feeling energized, and you're seeing results, then stick with it. So for me, I'm big on, if you feel good and you're sticking to your training plan, you're sticking to, or as much as you can with food, then that's fine. But no, I try not to make them super conscious on it. I try and educate them as much as I can, but I don't want clients to get too conscious about their food. And,
100%. Hey, just a quick announcement before we return to the podcast. If you're someone who's been feeling a bit stuck lately, maybe you're switching careers, rebuilding your routine, or just trying to get your life together, I get it. That's exactly why I write the Midweek Motivation newsletter, where every week I share real, honest thoughts on training, mindset, and the messy process of figuring life out. Especially for guys like us, we're in our 20s and 30s, just trying to get ahead in our careers, fitness, and performance. It's short and it's personal, and it might just give you the push you need during the middle of the week when it's least motivating. You can subscribe using the link in the show notes below, or go to substack.com and search up Midweek Motivation. All right, let's get back to the podcast. And what's your definition of high performance?
being able to perform at the best you can, but also enjoying it. I think a lot of athletes or a lot of people that are trying to push themselves are doing as much as they can and as much training as they can, but they're not enjoying it. And it doesn't, it almost becomes like a routine where you're just doing something for the sake of it. And I think in order to perform at the highest level, you need to be challenging yourself, but also you need to enjoy it along the way, I think.
I like that.
They're the two things I think most important for me.
I think we should coin that. Matteo's high performance. You got to add that element of making sure you're enjoying it.
Yeah, it's something I've learned recently too, especially with how all I used to do was just resistance heavy lifting. And I was seeing results, but I wasn't enjoying it, going through the motions. And it was like, I would wake up thinking like, okay, I've got push day today, go into the gym, do the same thing that I would do every like other day and then leave. And it just became like such a boring routine, and I wanted some variation. I wanted to change it. So that's why I shifted more towards trying different styles of training. And yeah.
Would you say high performance is only for athletes?
I think anyone can train at a high performance. I think it sounds more like an athletic thing, but essentially all it is if you're pushing yourself to the next level, then anyone can train like a high performer.
Definitely. Yeah. What are some like other underrated, maybe like things you do outside training that contribute to high performance?
Funnily enough, I actually think listening to podcasts and reading have a massive impact on high performance too. I think if you're always an active learner and you're always listening to others, and especially being coachable, and being coachable through listening to things like podcasts.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, I think, are in denial, and they they like to say that they're doing something even when they're not. Especially like you could be listening to a podcast and they're talking about waking up every day and going for a run first thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people like to agree with that and will say, yeah, I do that, but a lot of the time they're not. So I think if you're being coachable, yeah, I think what you take in as well from podcasts has a massive impact on the way you think, the way you train. So yeah, all those things, especially I think the mental side of things, that's something that I'm really big on as well. So yeah.
Yeah, it's like surrounding yourself or immersing yourself rather into like, I guess, the things that you want to be or aspire to. So it's like, that common phrase where you are what the 5 people are around.
Yeah.
But then if you're exposing yourself to books, learning opportunities, and through podcasts and obviously conversations with people, then I guess some of those beliefs that you have will start to shift in your mind.
Yeah.
And then you try to adopt, some of those habits or rituals. Yeah. Very nice. So you're more of an audio learner, are you?
Yeah. I definitely find that listening to podcasts, even like ebooks, I think it's convenient too, especially you're on a tube or something, and I don't always want to get a book out, so I'll just put it in my headphones, listen to something. But I find that's just, for me, the best way to learn and grow.
Yeah. What are your favorite listens or reads recently?
I'm actually reading/listening to the Matthew McConaughey book.
Greenlight?
And yeah, I love it. So far, I'm quite a slow reader, but I found with this book specifically, I've just flown through it. And I love the fact that it kind of shifts between almost like a biography and he kind of gives life lessons in there too. And I love that balance. So I think that's why I'm so invested in it.
Very nice. Do you tend to go towards autobiographies in terms of your reading habits, or do you like to shake things up?
I've tried going more into things like fiction, but I just can't.
Okay.
I really struggle to focus, and yeah, I just can't do it. I think I quite like listening to people's lives and kind of reading into how they've got to where they are and that kind of thing. So
yeah, no, me too. Sometimes I'm always surprised when someone tells me, like, I wouldn't expect it. They'll be like, oh yeah, I love politics or I love history, something like that. I'd be like, oh, fascinating, but not yet for you.
Yeah, no, not yet. Hopefully, I would really like to get into another genre, I think. But yeah, I feel like I just haven't found it yet.
Yeah, no, me neither. Nice. So with football or athletes in general, we can put it that way, what are some, I guess, non-negotiables when it comes to improving their training and also reducing their risk of injury?
Plyometrics, I think, are the biggest thing for all athletes to work on.
Someone who doesn't know what a plyometric is, how would you define that?
So I think there's a really good term that I learned the other day, and it's specifically, it's the amount of time between contacts to the floor and like airtime or something. So essentially plyometrics is explosive movements. So things like box jumps or little side shuffles, anything where you're shifting your weight, I think either side, or landing comfortably and then exploding up. That is pretty much what plyometrics is. So yeah, sharp movements, things which work, I guess, all those little fibers in your muscles and working all your joints. So I think that is a massive thing for all athletes, especially when they're doing so much training and you need, I guess, as much muscle as you can get in all of your joints and all your body parts. So definitely plyometrics also linking into reducing that injury. So
nice. Yeah. And how would you prescribe plyometrics into your training plan?
I actually like to incorporate plyometrics with everyone. So even if it's just like an everyday mover who is above 60, for example, a lot of people don't realize, but even people above 60 need explosive movements, because as you get older, obviously you're more at risk of things like heart attack and strokes and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And if you can get your heart rate above a certain amount, I think if you can get your heart rate into zone 4, even for something like 10 seconds, it just like dramatically decreases the chances of developing these disorders. So even with like an everyday mover, I'll do at the end of our workouts, like just a short AMRAP, maybe like a 5-minute AMRAP where you're doing box jumps for 45 seconds. Sorry, not 45 seconds. You're doing box jumps for maybe 10 reps. Yeah. And then I'll give them a little rest, and then they can go into something else. Just so it's like a last little push for them. And yeah, I guess you know that it's going to help them in the future. And yeah, I quite like doing that kind of thing. And then linking it to athletes. My favorite exercise that I do with most would be, it's like a pendulum lunge, and then you drop your dumbbells going straight into jump lunges. I think specifically that superset is something I do with almost everyone because it works so many muscles at once. You're building strength, I guess, in your calves, all the way up to your hamstrings. And I always find that if I'm working with a player who's just coming back, especially from an ACL injury, which is super common in football these days, I always find that they, at the start of their week, at that exercise, I think obviously the impact on your knees, but I've seen some insane improvements. Yeah, just seeing people grow from doing specifically that exercise. It's really weird, but just like, yeah, seeing people improve from just doing something so simple.
Yep. Nice. What other non-negotiables do you think?
I think as long as you're eating clean, that's a big one as well for me. Avoiding all of these ultra processed foods, that's a massive thing, especially for a high performer and an athlete. You obviously want to take in as much nutrients and good foods as you can because that's going to impact how you perform.
Yeah.
So I always try and recommend a whole food diet, cutting out as much refined sugar as you can. Yeah, just sticking to the basics, really, those kind of things.
Yeah, very nice. And then for someone who wants to improve their running, particularly say maybe for their 5 or 10K, how would you go about improving that goal?
My favorite thing to do is definitely track sessions, specifically intervals. So I think intervals single-handedly helps me to get my 10K time down so much. So the start of the year, I made it one of my goals to actually try and do one track session a week.
Yeah.
Where we'll just go through like maybe 6K total, and we just literally will just repeat laps, maybe doing it in a pyramid style. So we'll go like 400 meters at one pace, minute rest, 600 meters, 800, so on, working our way back down. And I definitely feel like doing things where you're going faster than race pace is just so good for actually dropping that, I guess, dropping your comfortable pace down. So yeah, I definitely recommend doing any kind of interval training.
Yeah, I haven't really done much of that. I mean, back in the day when I was trying to get better at running in general, this is before I even done a half. I used to do like a lot of sprint training on the sand because I used to live on the beach.
Yeah.
That was good fun. But like since then, sprinting has not been part of my program. There'll be like a faster run in general, especially like this year, but nothing crazy in that aspect. What about in terms of differences? Would there be any, if you would say training for your first half marathon or marathon, would you find there'd be a difference in the training then between that and what you just said?
Yeah, so I think you could still incorporate interval running if you're training for something longer, like a half. I still think it would be good, especially if you're going for a specific time.
Yeah.
If you're someone who just wants to do a half for fun or for charity, something like that, you'd obviously shift more towards a longer distance running where you're focusing more on just keeping your heart rate low, but also going at that challenging pace. Strength work is a massive thing too. So your body is obviously under a lot of pressure during those long runs.
Yes.
So it's important to build up that strength in your legs, and just so you can absorb that impact.
Yeah, 100%. Especially when your volume increases, so the amount of runs that you do per week, and then over time when you're progressively overloading by doing longer runs, you need to have really like resilient.
Oh yeah. Honestly, what I've noticed recently, I think coming towards the end of this training block, just my lower back is so sore because my glutes are so tight. So I think the biggest thing that I've taken away from that is next time I go into a block of training, just do so much more work on hamstrings and glutes and strengthen those just to take some of that impact off my lower back.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Like my glute, especially like glute medius, like really, really tight. And so I have like a monthly chiro maintenance session.
Yeah.
And that definitely just like keeps things
so
like
nice.
Somewhat. Yeah, exactly. Just for injury prevention, especially for like a lot of the challenges I've done this year. But can't believe that I still managed to do a ton of different running style events, especially going from doing my first marathon in March, then going to an ultra.
Yeah, that is insane.
And I didn't like drastically change the running. I mean, between the marathon and the ultra, I didn't go any more than, I say, 20Ks into the training. And probably like maybe not the wisest thing, but there was two big things that was like helping me with that. One was prioritizing Olympic lifting and just doubling down on the strength aspect. So I upped my accessories. So not only I was still obviously snatching and doing clean and jerks, but there's more squats, more RDLs, like say back extensions, or I guess GHDs for strengthening up posterior chain. Obviously, like working, calf raises and isolating those muscle groups there. But the second things I had in April, my other running challenge I did was, they've heard of the Goggins 4x4?
Oh no. Yeah.
So that was like it's a lot of volume, right?
Yeah.
Such a short period of time. So that was like a halfway point. And that was like a good test to see like how my body would hold up after that. And it did pretty well. So that was like a good indicator, like, if I can do that, like that's 77Ks in 2 days. I could run 100Ks one day.
Yeah, honestly, that is. I think he talks about that in his book, actually, and it is just insane.
Yeah. Have you read both books?
No, I've only read the first. Can't Hurt Me, isn't it? That is honestly, as like cringe as it sounds, but that book is like just life-changing. Like just listening into how he's grown up, what he's grown up with, into the stuff that he's competed in and his mindset, I think, is just nuts.
But Goggins' second book never finished.
I've actually got it. I've bought it, but I haven't read it yet. I haven't started it. I need to. Okay, after this, that's my.
It's a slightly shorter
time,
but it's you get a lot of extra like kind of insights and just what happens after, because he's got this persona, right, of like is the toughest man alive, right? But now he gets to a point as he's aging.
Oh yeah,
particularly like that makes it, well, you assume harder. So it's a kind of like a good insight of that. Do you think you're gonna do an ultra?
I do, yeah. So actually, one of, I guess, the plans next year is to do a different race or different event a month. So similar to what you've done. I've taken inspiration.
Oh, okay.
So,
nice.
I mean, it could go two ways, I guess. But definitely towards the end of the year, I would love to do an ultra. And one of my friends, she always goes back to Kenya. And she was telling me about this ultra, which is through like the African plains. I think it's in September. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
But as soon as she told me that, I was like, yeah, I'm in. So if we can get that sorted, I think that would be so cool.
What a way to finish.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So hopefully, fingers crossed that, we can sort that and get that booked in.
Nice. Well, I will say from my experience this year, the mental and emotional impact is worse than the physical.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I mean, in the beginning, like, sure, you're expecting it to be like, it's gonna hurt, and it does. But then, like, putting yourself into that same mindset again and again, it's just like, tiring. But, it's possible, and I'm sure if you, like, really focus on that, like, you probably have a better experience than me, but...
No, it definitely intrigues me, because I really want to see the difference between doing an ultra and doing just, like, a half marathon or a regular. Because in my head, it's like an ultra, you can go a bit slower. Obviously, it's longer, but you can go a bit slower. So would it feel easier than pushing for like a half or a full? So I don't know. I really want to see kind of the difference.
That'd be really interesting for you, I think, because you have such a fast half marathon. Like, how would that transfer?
Yeah. So yeah,
I don't know if you got to do it fasted.
What's that?
I don't know if you got to do it ultra fast.
Oh my gosh, no, definitely not. No way.
Yeah.
Actually, what did you have during your ultra? Did you bring snacks and gels?
Not too much, actually, because we had a checkpoint.
Okay.
And that's where I fueled up, and it was quite common. It was like sometimes like the shortest distance was 8Ks, and sometimes it went up to 17Ks in between. And every second checkpoint was like hot food as well, so you can kind of plan for that. The other ones are just more snack based.
Yeah.
And that's like coming to my weakness is that my legs are built for strength, not for endurance. So I had to utilize those rest periods.
Yeah.
Especially because I'm not really going for time. I'm just like getting it done.
Surviving.
Yeah. So, on terms of on me, it was just gels.
Yeah.
Which you just get power fatigue after
yeah.
having so many.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Oh, but yeah, and then probably a lot of the snacks at the checkpoints. I have to hate to admit, probably a lot of processed food, but
yeah. I mean, I think if you're doing the ultra, like the amount of calories you're burning, I think you'd just be happy getting anything.
Yeah, literally. But you've got another race coming up this weekend.
Yeah, this weekend. Yeah,
Okay.
last one of the year. Just
Same with me, mate.
oh yeah, you've got yours too.
Last challenge. Yeah.
Oh man, honestly, I just can't wait to get it done.
Yeah.
At this point, my body is just beaten up. I just want to get it done, and then that's me done for Christmas and
It's
and
Malaga,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And is it a half or a full?
it's a full.
Full marathon. Okay. Yeah. What's your intention going into this race?
I'm actually feeling really confident about it, and I am going for a sub-3, which is
That's good.
it's obviously it's hard to do, but I feel like I've been training super hard, and I've been specifically this training prep. I've been like super dialed in, so yeah, I'm feeling really good going into it. Even when I say like I just want to get it done, I'm actually really excited for it. So
Sub-3.
yeah, it'll be hopefully fingers crossed. It'll be a nice way to end the year.
Yeah. Well, I guess you had your HYROX relay just then. Week turnaround, so it's not a long time, but
Yeah.
I understand the process there.
Yeah.
Nice. What are you really gonna focus this week then, in terms of your training and your recovery?
So I'm actually going to prioritize recovery. I feel like I've done all my running leading up to it, and now I think it's just about resting my legs, getting them fresh. So today has been mostly just stretching, ice bath, all those little things. Tomorrow I've got a sports massage. So I'm just kind of looking to just take all of that lactic acid out my legs, just recover completely. And then I think Thursday will be just a super slow zone 2 10K, just to at least get my legs moving. I always prefer, especially a few days before, just to at least move and see how my body's feeling, almost like a check-in.
Yeah.
And then I think I don't know if many people do this, but the day before I always like to move. So the day before the run, I'll do like 3 to 5K. Again, super slow. Just to see how I'm feeling, test out, especially if you've got like new shoes, see how they feel. And you can kind of make all those last little decisions. But yeah, super low mileage this week, just prioritizing recovery.
Yeah. So we touched on like briefly with mindsets. How do you, I guess, combat the mental fatigue with your recent fitness events and I guess challenges you've been setting yourself? Is there anything else you do apart from like say audiobooks that you, like, especially in the moment, how you get yourself out of a rut or motivate you to keep going?
I've managed to come up with this formula, especially if I'm competing. So I used to do, I guess, with football, but also track running. I used to compete a lot, and I used to really struggle with nerves. I used to always let nerves get the better of me, and obviously that impacts your performance.
Yeah. And
one thing I learned from a podcast, but also something I taught myself, and I just came up with this formula. And since doing this, it's such a weird way to take pressure off you, but I always find that it helps me perform at the top. And you basically, I'll breathe in, and I just picture myself breathing in positivity and then breathing out negativity.
Yes.
And then I kind of associate like positivity with one color and negativity with another.
Yeah.
So, for example, breathing in like blue, breathing out red. And for some reason, it just brings clarity and helps me to just calm myself down. I think part of it is just controlling your breathing. But I always find it's a good way to just stay composed before big events. So even like, I guess if you're competing in like HYROX, something like that, something where nerves are going to be high, you obviously want to perform at your best. I always think just slowing down your breathing helps you to feel more present as well, and just take in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And then you just get moving.
Oh, nice. I might try and adopt that.
Honestly, it's since doing that, it's been really good. So
yeah,
definitely give it a go.
Well, I did something when I did my marathon in March, between like from the 30-ish K mark. That's when like my feet were starting to like really give me grief. And what I did was to help me like keep running. I took obviously a few moments to just walk, but I kind of thought of everything. So it was 2 stages. So the first stage was like thinking everything negative about like what was going through my mind, and across my whole life. You know, things at times I'm angry or disappointed or frustrated, and then I like kind of let it all release, and then I'll just take in everything positive that's happened in my life. That just like really helped me. Just
I guess similar concept then. Yeah.
Channel that. Yeah, I mean, it was harder to do in the ultra, I will say.
Yeah.
But, it's just I think it's really amazing that you can there's always more to give, and even by the 90K mark, I'm spent, I'm done. We just climbed this hill, and it's middle of the night, it's raining, I'm exhausted, windy, and then at 95K is like knowing there's 5Ks to go, suddenly just like something came out of me.
Yeah.
It's like I just overtook 14 people in those last 5Ks somewhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's amazing like how resilient your body is.
Yeah. It's
but it's got to do up here.
Yeah, I guess your body always gives up before or your mind always gives up before your body does. So yeah, it's crazy how much more you can actually give, especially during those hard moments. But yeah, that's why I'm always trying to put in that mindset side, especially when I'm training. So yeah, it's such an important thing.
100%. Definitely. Well, nice. We can start to wrap up the podcast now. Matteo, where can people find you?
So Instagram handle is Coach Matteo. That's kind of where I put all of my stuff. Trying to grow it as much as I can. I'm actually working on a website. It was up at the moment. I'm trying to just add a bit more on there, so that will be up soon. Again, it will just be called, I guess, Coach Matteo.
Yeah.
You'll probably find it on my socials too. Once that's back up, but that's it really.
Nice. And a final closing question: what's your favorite pizza?
I'm actually going for pizza after this.
Nice.
Pizza and football. Favorite pizza. Now, I don't know if this is controversial, but I was actually talking to my mate about this earlier. It is a proper Italian pizza. It's not that common here, but it's just like a regular pizza sauce base, crumbled pistachios on there, and like a burrata. So like burrata is kind of like that softish cheese.
Yeah.
And it's such a simple thing, but it's so nice. You obviously drizzle a bit of olive oil on top as well.
Oh, nice.
And you can't find it that much here. So
No,
specifically, this place I'm going to tonight, it's called Cinquecento in Chelsea. It's just off the King's Road. And this is the only place that I found do it in London, which is why I'm going there.
Well, so, I hope it lives up to your expectations.
Yeah.
Very nice. Well, thanks so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And all the best with the marathon.
Thank you. And you as well. Good luck for yours.